All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan, and I've got another amazing piece of news for you. I don't know what's happening these days. We're just collecting W's after W's. But I was thinking about it before I started recording. I was thinking that this is no time to be complacent. The only reason why we feel that we are collecting W's, we are going somewhere, is because of a couple of factors. Had they not been there, we could have been in a pretty dark spot. Number one, yes, we have these lefty/Marxist governments both in the UK and Australia. Oh, and even in Canada, I think. But the one that matters the most, the United States, is our guys in the office. And all these woke politicians, I'll tell you this, our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, such a loser, such a loser. Every world leader has gone to the US and spoken with President Trump. But this guy, because he's so far left-wing, that he's been to China twice, and he wants to take Australia closer to China at the expense of our natural ally, which is the United States of America. So he's been copping a lot of heat for it. I've heard that he's probably going to go to the US now, which is a good thing. They all have to go there. I don't see this as an issue of Australia or Britain. This is a collective movement to save Western civilization, and specifically the English-speaking world. And the video that I'm about to play to you, you're going to actually feel the same sentiment coming from President Trump as well. As you guys know, President Trump went to the UK a couple of months ago and he destroyed Keir Starmer by making him come to President Trump's residence in Scotland or his golf resort. And then on his way back to the United States, he destroyed Sadiq Khan. Sorry, didn't mean it. It was a genuine slip of tongue. Maybe it was a Freudian slip. So let me just remind your memory what he actually said about Sadiq Khan back in the day. This is President Trump.
You're talking about the mayor of London. Is that who you said? Yes. Well, I think he's been a not very good mayor from what I understand.
You understand, right, Mr. President?
He's done a poor job. Crime is up, a lot of problems. And I don't think he should be criticizing a representative of the United States that can do so much good for the United Kingdom. We talked about it before. He should be positive, not negative. He's a negative force, not a positive force. And if you look at what he said, he hurts the people of this great country. And I think he should actually focus on his job. It'd be a lot better if he did that. He could straighten out some of the problems that he has and probably some of the problems that he's caused. Thank you.
Guys, you notice one thing? How President Trump is not slagging off the United Kingdom or London. It's because it's not about these people. We actually have to liberate Western countries from the clutches of these Marxist/Islamist sympathizers. President Trump could have easily slagged him off. He could have said something about his race or his cultural identity or his religion, or could have slagged off London and the United Kingdom, made a joke about it, but he didn't. Because in his heart, he cares about the United Kingdom. He cares about London. Just like I wasn't born in England, but I see all of these countries as part of one civilization. All five of us: Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Canada, and America. The UK being the oldest and the spiritual mother of the civilization, and the United States being the muscle of the civilization. And Australia and Canada and New Zealand being the little brothers. But that's not it. He roasted him even more. Let me play you another video.
Will you visit London during the state visit? Or
I will. I'm not a fan of your mayor.
Why not?
I think he's done a terrible job, the mayor of London, but a nasty person.
Are you worried?
I think
he's a friend of mine.
I think he's done a terrible job, but I would certainly visit London. Yeah.
So that was back in July. But as you guys know, President Trump had a state visit to the United Kingdom where he was greeted by King Charles, who is also very lefty. And I have heard that he hates President Trump. All these lefty government, the lefty establishment, all of them, they hate President Trump. President Trump could have easily ignored them. But as I said, he cares about the United Kingdom. And he's said it multiple times. And these lefty Marxists, they actually organized a protest against President Trump's visit, but that's all they can do. They gathered about 5,000 or 6,000 people. Look at these outcasts. Look at these clowns. Just look at them. Losers. The bunch of losers. 1 million people came out last week, thanks to Tommy Robinson, and they all loved Trump. Look at them. There's not even 1,000 people there. What a bunch of losers. I believe Jeremy Corbyn organized. There you go. I think that's from Jeremy Corbyn, maybe. Yeah. Look at this is the Messiah. He's there. He wants to slaughter all of them. Oh, these wokes. Look at them. What a bunch of clowns. They're not that many. That's why we're winning, guys. The left is so pathetic that people who are in the middle, people who used to think that they were lefties themselves, they're dropping off. They're dropping like flies. So as I said, they can protest all they want. Sadiq Khan can incite these people all he wants. But President Trump, he's the king. Sorry, he's the most powerful man. And I'm glad that we have our guy in the Oval Office. Had it been Kamala Harris, oh boy, we would have been living in absolute misery. Just imagine for a second, how many people came out? 1 million people on the weekend who were sick and tired of this erosion of their culture and history. They have realized that they're being replaced by foreign ideologues and foreign people. Imagine if Kamala was there. I know Keir Starmer and Shabana Mahmood didn't call them far-right hooligans or fascists because the number was too big. But had Kamala been in office and the way things are going in America, all of these lefties would have united against us. Their plan almost worked had it not been for President Trump. So President Trump turned up, and I've been told that King Charles doesn't like President Trump. But look, he had to like him. Look at him. He had to smile. Look at him. They had to smile. Oh boy, I love President Trump. I think the Queen loved him. I think the Queen genuinely loved President Trump. And by the looks of it, our future Queen, Kate Middleton, loves him too, or at least likes him. Seems to be having a good time. Anyway, let's get to the juicy bit. So before we get to Sadiq Khan, President Trump destroyed Keir Starmer as well. And mind you, he destroyed him on his last visit as well. But it didn't embarrass him as much as you and I would have liked, because after all, President Trump is still a bit polite. I would like him to be a little less polite. That's okay, because all these journalists, they are doing our work. They are asking Tuti Akia tough questions. Have a listen.
Mr. President, in the 9 months you've been in office, you've been incredibly successful in eliminating crossings on your southern border.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, illegal migration is at record levels in Britain. The Prime Minister is trying to tackle that. What advice would you give to the man standing next to you?
Look at his face. What a shameless creature. He asked a genuine question. He didn't insult him. He said, our Prime Minister is struggling to lower the illegal immigration, and he just chuckled.
I'm trying to stop illegal migration in Britain. And Prime Minister was asked...
He's a lucky Prime Minister because people were so sick and tired of the Tories that they had no other choice. I made my videos and I say, you guys, you are making the worst mistake of your life. Do not vote them. Vote Conservatives. But you guys didn't listen. The Tories would have been still much better than him. Rishi Sunak was doing a lot of good. But anyway, he got lucky. He got in there because people were sick and tired of the Tories. But now I wouldn't want his job.
The president is all about drill, baby, drill in terms of trying to secure American energy and cut bills for Americans. Meanwhile, you are turning Britain's back on oil and gas in favour of renewable energies, such as wind turbines. Why do you think that you are right and he is wrong?
Woo!
So we had millions of people flowing in, totally unchecked, totally unvetted from the Biden administration. 25 million, in my opinion, that would be about 25 million. They came from prisons. They came from mental institutions. They were gang members. They were drug dealers. They came from the Congo. They came from all parts of South America. They came from everywhere. Think of it. Prisons from the Congo being released into the United States. Prisons opened up in Venezuela and many other countries pouring into the United States. And I couldn't believe it. And one of the reasons I decided to run. I decided to run because I don't want to be controversial, but you see what's happened and you see all the information that's come out. We won in 2020 big. And I said, let's run. We got to run because I saw what was happening. And the worst thing that I saw was all of these people. You know, we've already solved inflation. We've solved prices. Oil is way down. Energy is way down in the United States. But what what I saw happening with millions of people pouring into our country, I couldn't stand to watch it. And we've done a great job. Nobody, if you've seen the last, I appreciate your question, by the way, nobody, absolutely zero, and I'm not even sure that's possible, but it's a very liberal group that come out with those statistics. The last 3 months, we had zero.
Wow.
From millions of people a year ago, we had zero people enter our country illegally. And we do have people coming in legally through a legal process and testing and lots of other things. I think it's very important, and we speak about it. And I think your situation is very similar. You know, you have people coming in, and I told the Prime Minister I would stop it. And it doesn't matter if you call out the military. It doesn't matter what means you use. But,
Shoot them.
it's going to destroys countries from within.
If you open fire once, just once, even if you don't kill anyone, you just shoot around them, they'll turn back and they will never come back. If you let them come to your shores with open arms, and then you put them in hotels, give them mobile phones, 3 meals a day, sexy 4-star hotel stays, why would they not come? Why would they not continue coming? I am fucking tempted to come to the UK through that. You know how expensive those Airbnbs are? You know how expensive even those 3-star shitty hotels in London are? And I'm actually shocked. Zero. America has always been the haven for illegal migrants. I remember up until 2010s, nobody would go to the UK or Australia because once you come to these countries, you would still be asked to provide your passport or something. But once you enter America, the land of the free, nobody's going to ask you for your passport or your nationality or your citizenship papers. That's why America was always the go-to place for illegal migrants. It's always been the case. But now in the last 3 months, he's saying zero? Even I find it hard to believe. But if you're saying maybe 10, 20 people are coming, that's okay. It's no accident that tens of millions of people went into the US illegally in the time of Joe Biden. And then hundreds of thousands of people were coming to the UK, France, and Germany illegally. You know why? Because all of these countries were overtaken by lefty governments. And I was just watching a clip where a proud Democrat, a woke lefty with colored hair, was asking Charlie Kirk a question about Mahmoud Khalil, that Hamas Palestinian guy, about his deportation. And he asked him a question, do you believe in open borders? He said, yeah, I believe everyone around the world should be able to go anywhere they want. No borders, no passport control. It's not an accident that these people were coming in. And these wokies are so stupid and pathetic. And oh my goodness, I don't know where they have room temperature level IQ. Seriously. Have these idiots ever been to some of these countries, these third world countries? Even the liberals of those countries are far more brutal and ruthless than an ordinary Westerner. Because life is tough over there. It's brutal over there. That's why these idiots get stabbed in London. Because look who you're dealing with. Westerners don't know how to fight because Westerners got civilized. I'm sorry, apparently it pisses off a lot of people. Yes, the richer you are, the more prosperous you are, the more civilized you are, and further away you are from violence. Even our professional fighters, people who know how to fight, they can't cope with these barbarians who carry knives around and they have no problem in stabbing people. And that's what these lefties have done. They have brought them in, they have allowed them, they have welcomed them, and they have released them amongst people where ordinary Westerners are sitting ducks.
And we're actually now removing a lot of the people that
Good.
very hard chore. We were given a very, very bad hand. Millions of people came in from prisons and mental institutions. We have to remove them. And we are removing them. We have no choice. And I feel very strongly about it. Thank you very much.
Jack, let me just deal with the question of returns because this is obviously...
This is hilarious. He's going to demand praise for one in, one out. They literally sent one person back and he wants a big congratulations from everyone.
An issue we're taking incredibly seriously. We've struck a number of deals both on cooperation with other countries because this is a problem right across Europe to tackle the problem of actually breaking up the gangs that are running this trade. We have had a record number of returns, over 35,000 now.
I haven't been able to confirm this, but let's just take his word for it, okay?
Since we came into office, that's the highest number for the best part of 10 years. We struck the returns arrangement with France, and notwithstanding the challenges to that scheme, which you've seen in the last few days, a flight went off at 6:15 this morning, successfully returning someone under that scheme.
Someone.
So that is an important step forward. Obviously,
I don't know how he's containing his laugh. Like, one person, really? Do you want a medal for that?
there's no silver bullet here. There's a range of things that need to be done.
It's very
But
simple,
given
actually.
the challenges of
Stop rewarding people who come here illegally. That's it. They'll stop coming. You know why they're coming? They're going through 10 different countries and they make their way to the United Kingdom. They have no right to asylum because the first country that you land in, probably Greece, that's where you need to apply for asylum. And I'm sorry, Greece, I feel bad for you. I've been to Athens. It's an absolute shithole. The birthplace of democracy and Western civilization has become a shithole because of the same people. These people have no love and respect for your identity, your culture, your history. And the woke lefty lunatics say they're welcome.
returning people. It is important that we're able to prove it can be done. It was done. It was done early this morning. So I can confirm that that flight went. It went successfully. And I'm pleased about that. Now we need to ramp that up at scale, which was always envisaged under the scheme. But it's very important that we have been able to prove that the proof of concept, if you like.
You know what, guys? I am willing to give one concession to Keir Starmer that this situation was already really, really bad under the 14 years of Tories, okay? So first of all, I grant him that. He's been in office for a year, and he does have 4 years to prove us wrong. Let's see, come 2029, he can show us that, hey, I've successfully deported 2 million people or 1 million people, people who weren't supposed to be here. I think he's going to fail because it is against their ideology to deport these people. They believe in open borders. They genuinely believe in that. So even he, for the sake of his political future, even he might want to curb illegal immigration or start sending these people back. He's not going to be allowed to by his other co-ideologues, by other people who make donations to these people. It's not as simple as that. Like, you have to be ideologically clean and clear in what you want. Trump, he came on this point. They are eating our cats and dogs. He said that. Some illegal migrants from Honduras did eat that, but besides the point, he was clear in what he wanted. He was never clear. We're going to smash the gangs. Those gangs are still bringing people every day. Every couple of days, 1,000 new illegal migrants come in and they move them to a hotel.
If you like, that this can be done and will continue in that way. On the question of energy, firstly, let me be really clear that I am absolutely determined to ensure that the price and cost of energy comes down so that bills come down, both for individuals, for families, with their household bills, but also for business, because this is so important.
£8 million a day are being spent on illegal migrants while he cut off the pension of the elderly.
The mix will include oil and gas for many years to come from the North Sea. We've been clear about that for some time, but we also need to mix that with renewables, and it's the mix that's really important. And the approach I've taken on this is the same approach that I take to many other things, a pragmatic approach. Thank you, Jack.
I would like to say that we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. We had inflation, the likes of which we've really never seen. They say 48 years, and I'll accept that, but I really don't. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we had a expression that I used a lot, drill, baby, drill. And as you know, we brought fuel way down, the prices way down. And we don't do wind because wind is a disaster. It's a very expensive joke, frankly. And
it destroys a lot of bird species. What happened to all these lefty wokes who want to preserve the environment and the natural habitat of other species? What happened to that? See, when it comes to serving their agendas, they throw away all their moral guidelines.
We got our energy prices way down. That brought the inflation way down, and now we have very little inflation, and we have a very, very strong economy. So that was very important. Drill, baby, drill. And you have a great asset here, and we spoke about it. It's called the North Sea. The North Sea oil is phenomenal, and I hope, because I love this country, you know. My mother was born in Scotland, and the Hebrides, Stornoway, that's serious Scotland. We were talking about it. And I want this country to do well. And you have great assets that you're going to start using, I believe, under this prime minister.
He was being polite there. But you see, he's genuine. He's serious when he says that I want this country to do well. There's no malice there. There's no bad intent. There's no petty politics that you're a lefty, I'm a Republican, none of that. He genuinely wants the United Kingdom to do well. Because as I said, it's no longer the issue of America or the UK. We are facing an existential threat to Western civilization, or at least the anglicized world, which is probably most of the Western world, because the rest are just some Western European countries like France, Germany, Austria, and maybe Poland and Switzerland and Italy. That's it. That's all we have. When I say the greatest civilization, that's what I mean by that. The English-speaking world and France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, Greece, the birthplace of Western democracy or Western civilization, that's it. That's all we have. And each and every single country has been infiltrated by people who do not have its best interests at heart. But anyway, this is not it. Let me give you another one. He got roasted again. Look at this. This is the best one. Listen to this part. Kudos to this journalist.
Having been in DC for a few weeks, it's really interesting to see how
She's English, but she works for an American organization.
you run the country as a proud Christian leader. And it really begs the question to the Prime Minister, if you don't mind, are we still a Christian country? But also...
when you say we, are you talking here or?
Here. The
Here?
UK. I'm still British. I might
I'd
live in
rather have
America. I'm
him
still
answer that
British.
question.
But also,
I can't give you that answer.
that's for the Prime Minister. But also, despite what we talked about in Scotland a few weeks ago, we still have 12,000 people a year here being arrested for social media posts.
12,000 people, guys.
For free speech violations. Does that not remain an important area that there is still a lot of disagreement on?
Let me show you this. I don't know, most of you people know that I am a very radical Western liberal Democrat. Very radical. I have made many videos against authoritarian leaders like Putin's Russia, Xi Jinping's China, North Korea, Iran. And I used to think that the West is different. And the only thing that separates the West from the rest of the world is not its tall buildings, because Saudi Arabia and the UAE have them and China have them. It's not money, because China is pretty rich. The Arab world is pretty rich. There's one thing, the one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb is its free speech. Our ability to criticize our president, our prime minister. We can stand in front of the White House. I can stand in front of 10 Downing Street and we can criticize our prime minister. You can't do that in Xi Jinping's China. See what happened in Tiananmen Square? You can't do that in front of the Kremlin. Go try it in Russia. It's the free speech that differentiates the West from the rest of the world. There are some outliers like India and Japan and South Korea, of course, because they've been westernized as well. But I was shocked to read these statistics. Let me show you some statistics. Look at this. Countries with the highest number of arrests for online comments in 2023. This is 2023. This is before Keir Starmer. United Kingdom, 12,000 arrests. And we've seen many videos. They're not about inciting violence or inciting racial hatred. Have you seen some of the arrests? I think there might be some underneath here. A policeman would go and say that your tweet or your post caused alarm and distress to someone. It offended someone.
I posted something that he posted. You come to arrest me, you don't arrest him. Why has it come to this? Why am I in cuffs? Because of something he shared, then I shared.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media page. Why are you being arrested?
That's it. That's the criterion. It offended someone. That's how bad it is. What are they trying to do? They're trying to create a utopia where everyone is happy. That's going against humanity. We are political animals. I will always have a position that someone will dislike and be offended by it. That's perfectly freaking fine. It's only the left that wants to shut you down. They are fascist. I mean, Hitler was a lefty. They call him he was far right. Yeah, the racial element was far right, maybe. The ethno-nationalism element was far right, but he was a socialist. The curbing of free speech. That is not only done by the far right, it's also done by the far left. Stalin, communism, far left ideologies. They're enemies of free speech. It's not only kings and authoritarian figures who are ethno-nationalists or nationalists who curb free speech. Free speech is the enemy of both the far left and the far right. Again, it's the liberal democracy that sets us apart from the rest of the world. So did you see that? 12,000 in the UK. Belarus, the last dictatorship in Europe after Putin. 6,200 arrests. Germany, 3,500. Germany is pretty bad too, by the way. China, 1,500. Can you believe this? China, an authoritarian country, a country with 1 billion people. They only arrested 1,500 people where they might have said something against Xi Jinping or something. Well, we expect them. We want their number to be in 1 million, but it's not. Look at this. Russia, 400. Turkey, 500. Poland, Thailand, Brazil. The rest of the country doesn't matter. India. I've been hearing a lot that under Modi, India has become a far-right authoritarian state. Look, just 100 people. Iran, 100 people. I don't know why USA has 50. There could be real incitement. So some of these arrests might be justified. But look at this, 12,000. This is a clear outlier. Something bad is happening. Where's actually Australia? I think we're safe in Australia for now, though. I have another video to make. Anyway, so now you understand the context. This is the reason why the journalist asked Keir Starmer that question. Now let's see what he has to say.
I'd like to have you answer that.
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of, I was christened, so that is, my church has been all my life, and we are...
Did you see that? Trump is speaking from his ass. Look at him.
in all my life, and we are, that is wired into
I love him.
Our informal constitution. Of course, we celebrate many other faiths as well, and I'm really proud that we're able to do so as a country. And on free speech, that has long lived in this country, free speech. It's one of the founding values of the United Kingdom, and we protect it jealously and fiercely, and always will, and we will bear down on any limits on free speech. I draw a limit between free speech and the speech of those that want to peddle paedophilia and suicide social media.
He's lying. That's not all the arrests are for. Most of these arrests are, we've seen so many of these videos. There was another video the other day, it just came out. If I find it, I might plug it in, where an American living in Britain...
You can come in, but you better have a damn good reason for being here. I'm a member of the Free Speech Union, and I'm an American citizen. I'll have Elon Musk on you so quick your feet won't touch.
Something that we believe you've written on Facebook has upset someone.
You're here because somebody got upset. Is it against the law? Am I being arrested?
You're not being arrested.
Then what are you doing here?
My plan was, if you were admitting that it was you who wrote the comment, you could just make an apology to the person.
I'm not apologizing to anybody, well, I can tell you that.
The alternative would be that I have to call you in for an interview.
The public knows what you guys are doing. We know what's going on in this country. Why don't you do that? Get on to them and tell them to apologize to me, a cancer patient, a woman living on her own, who has never broken a law in her life, by the way, ever. An older woman, you tell them, I'm an elderly woman, I'm a cancer patient.
I have to come back and arrange an interview then.
Well, you can arrange it, but I'm going to tell you the same damn things that I'm telling you now. Next time, I'm going to have a Free Speech Union lawyer with me.
I'm opposed to this behavior by the lefties, where they're celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, but that does not warrant a visit from the police. They should have social consequences, such as losing the jobs. Like, for example, if I'm a boss, I don't want my employee to be doing that and bring disrepute to my business, because my business could suffer. My first and foremost priority is my shareholders. Just like Jimmy Kimmel has been sacked because he peddled fake news. He said MAGA killed Charlie Kirk, so his network sacked him. And all these liberal wokies are like, oh, what about free speech? You don't believe in free speech. You didn't like Charlie Kirk's free speech. You want people to be killed for their words. Getting sacked is a far less severe consequence than getting killed over your words or over your speech. So these guys are hypocrites, and he's lying.
To children, and therefore I'm all for free speech. I'm also for protecting children from things that will harm them, paedophiles, those that peddle suicide, which had a terrible consequence for individual, particularly teenagers. And so that's the balance we strike. But we have had freedom of speech in this country for a very long time, and we will always protect it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Brian, please.
All right, now let's get to the main event. Are you ready to watch historic beatdown of Sadiq Khan? Sadiq Khan. By the way, as President Trump said in one of his earlier videos, in his last trip back in July, that he shouldn't be slagging off a representative of the US government. You need America. We all need America. This is the reason why Keir Starmer, despite hating President Trump and the Republican Party, is sucking up to him, because none of us can do well without the US, whether that's US's economic might or its military might. We need America. And we are all part Americans. We all are. It's no longer the issue of individual countries. It's the survival of all Anglo countries is at stake now. We have to stick together. That's why I see President Trump as our leader before I see Keir Starmer or Anthony Albanese as our leader. So let's see how President Trump destroys Sadiq Khan. And something tells me it's not going to be the last time.
Spectacular. Right. And yet the Mayor of London can't be there.
I don't want him there. I asked that he not be there. I don't want. I think the Mayor of London, Khan, is among the worst mayors in the world. And we have some bad ones. If you look at Chicago, if you look at... But I think he's the equivalent of the mayor of Chicago. I think he's done a terrible job. Crime in London is through the roof. The Mayor of London, Mayor Khan, has done a terrible job. And on immigration, he's a disaster. No, I asked that he not be there.
Good.
He wanted to be there, as I understand.
Look at that suckass. He wanted to be there. He's been slagging President Trump off at every single opportunity, and now he wanted to be there at that big-ass table. He wanted to sit there. No, you're not welcome. That's the power of President Trump. Imagine that. President Trump, nah, I don't want him there. Okay. Sadiq Khan and Keir Starmer, they're buddies. Remember last time when he destroyed him? When Keir Starmer sheepishly said, oh, he's my friend, by the way. Shut up.
The Mayor of London, but a nasty person. I think he's
a friend of mine.
I've not liked him for a long time. I just think, I have a certain pride in London and UK. My mother was born in Scotland, as you know. And when I see Mayor Khan do a bad job, the stabbings and the dirt and the filth, it's not the same. Yeah. No, I didn't want him there.
You see again, President Trump, he could have slagged off London or the UK. He loves the United Kingdom. He's the mother of all of our Anglo countries. And this is what President Trump means. I'm sure he's seeing these videos. He's the president of the most powerful country in the world, and he can see how bad is London. Look at this. This is East London. Keep playing these videos. Look at this. Oh, this is Sadiq Khan's London. There's only two explanations behind this. One, the city council is not doing its job properly, or they brought in too many third worlders. And third worlders don't leave their third worldly habits behind. They just don't. So another great visit by President Trump. And as I said, we can't be complacent. We are collecting all these W's because of the stupidity of the lefties, but they don't play fair. In Germany, 6 AfD candidates have mysteriously died in the run-up to elections. Now, I'm not saying that Keir Starmer is like that, or he could be like that. I don't know, but we have to stay vigilant. As I said in my last video, Tommy Robinson has to invest in his security. Elon Musk has to give him a security detail or something. If Kamala Harris had won, all of us would have been crying right now. All of us. All of us would have been really miserable. Yes, they've got Canada, they've got Britain, they've got Australia, but the most important country, the United States of America, is in the right hands. But we only have 3.5 years. This can all go away. This can all go away very quickly. Imagine if a woke lunatic wins the next election. Kamala Harris, she was woke. So I don't know if Democrats are going to have a course correction. They probably won't. I really hope that they don't, because I think the culture that they created of calling everyone they disagree with a fascist, a far-right thug, racist, bigot, now they have even started shooting them. The culture that they created, it's not going to breed any smart intellectuals or thinkers. It's going to breed idiots. So I think that their next candidate is not going to be a centrist lefty. It's going to be another far lefty. Look at them. It's like they're all raging lunatics, all of them. I've been seeing ever since Charlie Kirk died. I've been seeing some of the videos at university campuses. Oh my goodness, these guys are lunatics. Look at this. This is madness. This is their professors. They're openly inciting violence. Listen to this.
How do we teach that in the class? Just to say that in the class, my students' heads explode. To tell them about violence as a revolutionary tool, as sometimes a revolutionary essential.
It's an essential revolutionary tool. Violence is a revolutionary tool. It's no longer illegal. That's a professor with a kafaya on. There's so many videos. I'm not going to play all of them. Look at their popular influencers. Look at their language. Listen to Hassan Piker.
Poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
When did that happen? When did we allow incitement to violence in the name of free speech? Now, Hassan Piker and Destiny, these two are the single biggest lefty influencers with their viewership in the millions. What do you think they're going to breed? Who do you think is going to be the next candidate from the Democrats? It's going to be someone who is a lot closer to these views. So I'm not a fan of J.D. Vance only because of his anti-Ukrainian stance. But oh boy, for the sake of the free world, we want J.D. Vance in office. Anyway. Sorry, I ranted. But you guys are to blame because I've been reading these comments and you guys say, we love your long rants. So there it is. All right, zipping. I'm out.